Hello, Rock Munchers. So today you're going to get two episodes. Just one's going to be this little tutorial thing, the next one's actually going to be the game. And the reason I'm doing this is because in this game, AbioticFactor, by the way, there's a lot to do character creation-wise, kind of like Project Zomboid, so I figured I'd make one comprehensive video about this, and then have the next video right after being, actual gameplay. So then when I make my character really quickly, y'all aren't going, wait, what did that mean? What'd that do? What the hell? So, anyways, to go on, in AbioticFactor, it plays a bit like Project Zomboid character creation-wise, where it's like, oh hey, pick a class or a job, and once you pick that, use whatever points that job has to get skills and perks. And each job has its own benefits, and also they have their own like unique gloves, but you can find those gloves anywhere in the map. And any starting gear they get, you can also find anywhere in the map. So it's kind of just like a hey, it's just a way to either get something a touch earlier or just to get a cool pair of gloves. That's about it. But the main thing is each one has their own thing. Like Lab Assistant, this just you get some extra sprint, sneak, and strength skilling, which I mean, the first 3 or 4 levels of something don't matter. So really, it's like, hey, you get to skip the like early, hey, you did it once stuff. But I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this. The medical person, they actually get extra first aid because when you read these, sometimes they'll be like, oh hey, just a little flavor text and like a hey, this is what you should be doing. Whereas with some, they'll have an extra little blurb at the end that says, hey, you get extra this. Like this one, they get extra first aid XP when crafting medical supplies, which you might think, oh, that doesn't matter too much. Thing is a lot of first aid stuff you get is either by healing, using first aid stuff, or crafting first aid stuff. And you don't get a lot of that XP, so this person could actually, speed run medical stuff. The weightlifter, they just get a lot of extra abilities for the melee stuff, and even worse, they have less starting points than the other two here. Now, the construction guy, extra construction XP, not bad, because I've had games where I could be doing construction stuff the entire game, and I'll still be, like, very low level on it. And they get some extra, construction, all that. They got the plant person, gives you some extra gardening XP. You got the chef, a little extra cooking XP. You've got the guy who's kind of just all about crafting weapons and throwing stuff, so he gets a lot of nice weapon stuff. Like, this would be a very nice class just to start with, because extra crafting XP is nice, because the higher that is, the stronger your stuff is. Not a lot stronger, but, a few extra points here and there means a few less swings here and there. And then you have this class, which I consider to be probably one of the worst starting classes, because at most you start with a baton stick, and that's kind of about it, and some really shitty armor. Like, you quite literally start off with, like, the worst. Like, it's like, yeah, you get some gear, but it's gear that you find and outclass pretty quickly. And finally, you are a blank slate job. And you might think, oh, wow, is that alright? It's like, I like it because 2 extra points. Because really, any class that starts with 10 points is the ideal start. And notice how only 2 start with 10. And then even the highest ones are 9, 9, 9, 7 German, just 9s. And they're for stuff that's kind of secondary. First aid, agriculture, cooking. So that tells you just kind of like, hey, these points, they must be pretty valuable. And they are, because once you pick your class, you then get this. And I'm pretty sure once this game goes to 1.0, which it will be the day I post this episode, I'm just doing this ahead of time, there's a lot of good stuff, like all the positive traits, and they're pretty nice. And some you can even take, let's grab Bladder of Steel. That would cancel out. Sometimes they're opposite, like weak bladder, stuff like that. Now some of these, really useful. And some of these, honestly, are free points. Very free points. And to go down the list of the first positive ones, you got one that just allows you to gain, like, the fitness stuff, like sprinting, strength, all that, a little faster, and also starts you off with a little bit of sprinting XP. You got Wrinkly Brain Meat, which 20% more XP than normal, which doesn't sound beneficial, but it's kind of nice. I sometimes grab it, but I'm starting to lean away from it because I'm realizing it's kind of useless, because 20% more XP when there's gear that can give you that stuff doesn't matter too much to me. You've got Night Owl, which means, you don't need to sleep as much. Hobbyist Chef, double cooking XP, pretty nice. Inconspicuous, makes you even more stealthy. Weathered, a little less, you get some extra temperature differential, which is actually really fucking nice, depending on if you want to be dripped out or not. Fanny pack, this one is a permanent in any class I pick, because you get 2 extra hotbar slots, so instead of having, I think it's like 1 through 8, you have 1 through 0. And that doesn't sound that big. Or, instead of having 1 through 0, you have like 1 through like the minus and equal sign. And while that doesn't sound that big, considering you have to craft backpack upgrades, those first 2 extra slots are like a tenth of your inventory. And even when you get bigger backpack spots, having those 2 extra slots to put like extra medical stuff or food stuff in means you could have your entire inventory you need in a hotbar and know your entire backpack could just be filled with either ammo, empty, or whatever. You got thick skin, 50% lower chance of receiving bleeding injuries. Eventually get to a point where you're carrying band-aids and have multiple healing supplies, so it doesn't matter. First aid certification, you start with 5 bandages and some first aid skill. That's not really worth it. Gardener, double agriculture XP, and you have a recipe right off the bat. That sounds pretty good. Honestly, the only good part is the agriculture XP. Everything else is kind of because you can find the recipe for a garden plot within your first like 5 minutes if you're running fast. Light eater, 20% less food. Honestly, not that bad. Naturally moist. Get thirsty, 20% less. Honestly, not that bad. Self-defense, an extra 3 damage with melee weapons. Not that bad. Because while 3 damage doesn't sound like a lot, that makes your starting stuff really strong. So against starting stuff, you get strong as hell. Bladder of steel, don't need to use the toilet 20% more often. Honestly, the toilet shit does not matter at all. So this is a horrible skill. Buff Brainiac, 15% more carry weight. For someone like me who is a pack rat in heart and soul, this is important. And Lead Belly, you can drink tainted water without getting sick, which at the start, this is more beneficial if you are with a load of buddies, but just by yourself, water doesn't really become much of an issue when you're solo, especially when you get cooking up to like level 3 or 4 and you can make soup, which once you have soup, that's water and food done. And now on to the negative traits. The main ones I will never touch are stuff like Fear of Violence, which caps your combat skills at a third of their maximum potential, which you might as well shoot yourself in both legs and do nothing. Feeble, 25% lower maximum health, and you have a higher chance to break your bones, which let me tell you, breaking your bones slows you down and weakens you. No. Unless if you're going to be the stay-at-home mom for your entire friend group, no. And if you're going to be the stay-at-home mom, you might as well grab both of these then. Narcoleptic, you need to sleep 75% faster than others and never feel fully rested. Also no, because sleep, while not important, can be detrimental. If you don't, like a full sleep bar can last you a while. So if you're, this is a very big no unless if you're willing to carry a bed around 24/7 and sleep like every 20 minutes. Asthmatic, stamina loss for the second you read the word lose stamina, no, stop it. You burn through stamina in this game. That is a horrible skill to pick. Painfully oblivious. Honestly, this is the most free skill you can grab, because I'm not going to say stealth in this game's bad, but it's not good. At least the good chunk, like early to mid game, the stealth does not matter. So, honestly, why care? Hearty appetite. You get 60% hungrier faster. You get hungry 60% faster. What the words did I just use? Yeah, no. Unless if you're like really going hard into chef. Dry skin. Now this one I actually like. Get thirsty 20% faster. That sounds like, hey, why would you want to get thirstier? Well, I mean, it's just 20% rather than 60%. And if you're playing solo, you can supplement that with a shitload of water and water-based soups, like ones that give a lot of water. Slow healer. You can grab this, but I don't want to affect my healing interval to be slower. Slow learner. 20% less skill XP. And you can't, learn or share recipes with your friends. No. At least, If I don't mind grinding, oh yeah, it's a free 2 points, but I don't want to lose like a load of XP, so no thank you. Oh yeah, this one, hemophilia. Doesn't sound that bad. Oh, you can bleed, you're twice as likely to bleed and quite severely. Yeah, a severe bleed is 2 bandages successfully working on you. That's kind of a no. Weak bladder. Oh, you need to use the toilet a little longer and a little earlier. Not bad because the toilet minigame is stupid simple. And if you look at that, oh hey, that's 5 points, which means if I only wanted, you know, fanny pack and buff brainiac, I could go to the change job and think, okay, I can do 12 minus 5, so 12 minus 5 is 7. So I can now pick a starting class that has 7 or more points. So, oh hey, I could do this class, the one that starts off with some construction, strength, and crafting. Or I could do pretty much anything other than defense analyst and get at least extra XP in any other any other skills I want. And let's say I pick something that's just, you know, a few extra less points, and let's repick the ones I was talking about with fanny pack and buff brainiac. Oh, 2 points. That's not enough for a lot of this, but if I'm willing to then take, let's say, slow healer or hemophilia, I could then do something with these 5 points. I could get this to get extra fitness skill XP, or just extra XP in general, which honestly then that means I mean, if I really wanted to, I could pick asthmatic, but no. Like, really, I could pick, like, all of these and have an extra 10 points and just go to town on a shopping spree. But I don't want slow learner or slow healer. Like, I don't mind doing this because that allows me to grind my medical XP a shitload. Which really means if you wanted a lot of benefits, you could go, I think it was... Wait, was it this class? Well, yeah, no, you could do this class to get, you know, extra first aid XP when crafting things. And then let's just grab these, because it won't stop you. It'll just say too many points. Oh, shit, I grabbed wire of steel. And then I could just yoink up this. And it's like, oh, hey, that number don't look right. Simple. I will just do this, and boom. I now have extra first aid XP that I'm going to be getting, extra cooking XP that I'm going to be getting, and all at the cost of bleeding a little more often and having a slightly weak bladder. Oh wait, painfully oblivious. That's what I was missing. Let's see. So actually, I could do this, and at this point, now my character is quite literally just good. They would not need more. But because I have extra healing, I could then pick something like slow learner, and I could swap off weathered, and boom. I'm now pretty much taking no real loss in skills other than fishing. Like, this game has so many different things to do, and I'm just making this quick little video so y'all can see some stuff, so I was kind of rambling and theory building. But a lot of my stuff is just picking summer intern, grabbing, I think it was fanny pack and wrinkled brain meat, and then just slapping these few, and grabbing, I think it was going to be hobbyist chef. I think I sometimes grab, I think I usually do grab buff brainiac. Wait, oh damn, I did not realize the amount of skills I can get. Because I could either pick hobbyist chef, because I do like the cooking in this game, but honestly, it's not that, you don't need to worry too hard about it. Could honestly go with... Really, I want to be like, oh, there's so many options. There's not really, because I could just be like, oh, hey, I could swap weak this with that, and I could get a giant boost of stuff, but honestly, I don't care about the giant boost. But because I'm now no longer picking wrinkled brain meat, that's 8 points, so I could get a giant boost in fitness and cooking, which doesn't sound that big, which, oh hey, this allows me to free up weak bladder. That's, wow, that's actually kind of nice. Or I could get rid of hobbyist chef and fully remove one of these 3 perks. Alright, sorry, I'm learning a lot about this game as hiccup as I play. And now that I'm starting to think about traits, because I always just had the like box standard, just picking this, and occasionally adding like hemophilia, and then picking usually just hobbyist chef. And if I didn't have weak bladder, sometimes bladder of steel if I care for it. But generally, like this would be my normal build. But now that I'm kind of realizing wrinkled brain meats, I'm not gonna say useless. Like it does have a benefit when you're getting giant things, but usually the only skills that give like the only like XPs you get that give giant boosts are agriculture and cooking, and sometimes fishing. Which at that point you're only grinding some very passive skills and not the active important ones. Which means really, if you want to grind the active important ones, you'd want to grab this. But even then, those skills you're already getting at a faster rate, and there's gear you can get to learn faster. But like the most optimal learn fast every skill would be something closer to actually maybe this if you didn't want like a giant boost in skill stuff. But even then, I mean, like you could easily keep 5 points off and still have some of the best perks you could get. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm getting lost in the sauce. This has just been a little introduction for this stuff, so when I play the game, I won't startle y'all when I just start just going, like, just clicking down stuff and just speed running perks and then going to play, and you're just all going like, hey, what happened? What do? Yeah, no. Bye-bye. You'll see an episode being posted later the day this episode's being posted, because the game's updating at like, I think it was close to like 4 or 5 p.m. And when it goes to the 1.0 update, your boy's going to record an episode. The only reason I'm not recording an episode right now, after I stop this one, is because I want that 1.0 update more than, probably more than, can't think of anything that wouldn't be too political or racist to say for this. More than Ash Ketchum, or, wait, no, more than Jesse and James wants Pikachu. Or Jane Jonah Jameson wants pictures of Spider-Man. Bye-bye.